And joining us now with the latest on the war, the operation in Rafah and US-Israel relations is President of the Jerusalem Center for Public Affairs, Dan Diker. Thank you for joining us. So Dan, Prime Minister Netanyahu and US President Joe Biden finally spoke on the phone after a very public rift. On the one hand, both leaders are now trying to show that they're cooperating, but on the other hand, clear divisions remain. So what is your analysis of this relationship?
Mr. Netanyahu, President Biden have been close personal friends for over 4 decades, and they remain close personal friends. Israel has a major disagreement with the United States over what to do at this moment in Gaza. Israel cannot stop putting out a fire after 75% of the fire has been put out, defeating 18 out of 24 Hamas battalions. Israel must go into Rafah in order to destroy Hamas's governmental and terror military capabilities. Israel has absolutely no choice. If Israel is somehow pressured or prevented from going into Gaza, this is going to end up killing the hostages that still remain, 134 of them. 70 of them are estimated to be dead at this point. But the entire Middle East, particularly the Iranian regime, the Iranian octopus and its tentacles in Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, the Iraqi special forces reporting directly to Tehran, and others are watching to see if Israel can destroy the Hamas as a military, terror, and governmental force. The United States, for its own political reasons, is pushing Israel for a ceasefire and to prevent it from going into Rafah under the guise of humanitarian disaster, where Israel is doing everything possible to move Gazan civilians out of harm's way, while Hamas is doing everything possible to keep their civilians in harm's way. Israel really demands from its greatest friend and ally, the United States, to exhibit moral clarity, not moral confusion, moral clarity in backing up its Israeli ally 100% and unconditionally at this moment to help Israel protect itself from what really is existential danger.
And so a compromise of sorts has been reached. Israel is sending a delegation to discuss the next stage of the war. But again, it's, as you mentioned, another delay in the Rafah operation. So how is this affecting the war, and also, as Netanyahu said, affecting the second front in the war, that of international pressure?
The second front of this war is deception and disinformation warfare that the Hamas has learned by its handlers in Tehran, in the IRGC, and they've learned it from the Soviets, from the Chinese, and it has become a major weapon in this war to destroy Israel, nothing less than to destroy Israel. And the international pressure is a result of Hamas's dirty tricks and deception warfare that has characterized this entire mass murder operation by what is a Hamas death cult since October the 7th. And even before, we fought 4 wars against the same Hamas regime. And now the stakes have grown much, much stronger. Israel, in my estimation, will complete the mission. They will go into Gaza. They will clear out this hornet's nest of terrorism that is being backed, funded, directed, and supplied by the Iranian regime. And then we will have to wait and see whether the Iranian regime is going to attempt to deploy its northern proxy, Hezbollah, over the northern border. This is Israel's fight for survival, and it needs its U.S. allies next to it, unconditionally supporting the only democracy in the Middle East that's fighting for the entire Middle East. And by the way, this is a message that we at the Jerusalem Center for Public Affairs have heard from no less than 12 Arab countries whom we are in touch with around the Middle East. They've said the same thing. It's the Iranian regime. It's not Israel the problem. Israel's the solution. The Iranian regime's the problem, and they back Israel's commitment and dedication to completely dismantle, dismember, and destroy the Hamas regime as a political and a military terror force.
An important message. Dan, that's all the time we have. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.